Do you know the difference between seals and sea lions? Newport, Oregon happens to have both, so you can spot the difference in real life. At Yaquina Head Lighthouse, you'll see harbor seals nap and raise pups, which, by the way, peak pup season is coming up in May. Or you can witness the loud and chaotic frat party made up of dozens and dozens of rowdy California sea lions on floats along the bayfront. And if you're just like, I don't care about seals, but you love seafood, Newport is the Dungeness crab capital of the world. Not to mention, it's just a lovely drive down along the coast. Plan your trip now before the crowds hit at discovernewport.com/citycast. That's discovernewport.com/citycast. Pivot Property Management is a small local commercial property company in downtown Portland that's deeply invested in the future of downtown Portland. They're focused on building community and long-term relationships with their tenants. They're hands-on, responsive, and actually have their main office downtown. So if you're a business owner, nonprofit, or entrepreneur looking for a space downtown, or a building owner who wants local community-minded management, check out Pivot at pivotportland.com. That's pivotportland.com. Let's make downtown what we want it to be. Our city gets a lot of national attention for being really good at certain things. According to some publications, we have the best airport, pizza, vegan food, protests. You get it. There's a lot of hyperbolic claims. And today on CityCast Portland, we might just have another one to add to that list. According to travel blogger Matt Hansen, we have the best gluten-free food in the entire world, and he's brought the receipts to prove it, along with an expert guide to the best gluten-free dining in Portland. It's Thursday, February 19th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. So you've boldly proclaimed Portland to be the best gluten-free city in the world. I need you to defend your claim. You have a minute. Go.
1 minute. Okay.
Just joking. So... Take as long as you need.
Obviously, this is super subjective, but I think the first thing I like to look at when I'm thinking about how good a gluten-free city is the number of dedicated gluten-free restaurants. And for context, I have celiac disease, so I'm worried not only about whether the ingredients in the food are gluten-free, but also how it's prepared and in the environment in which it's prepared. So dedicated gluten-free is great because you don't have to worry about that second part.
Right.
And there's a special kind of joy that comes as someone with dietary restrictions when someone says, you can literally eat anything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about the average city around the world, really, what you're going to find is like 1 or 2 gluten-free bakeries and like 3 or 4, maybe 5 dedicated gluten-free restaurants. Nashville's a great example. Same size as Portland, roughly. They have like 2 bakeries and 3 or 4 restaurants. When you look at Portland has somewhere between 20 and 25 dedicated gluten-free establishments, split between bakeries, restaurants, food carts, food trucks. So already you can tell that Portland punches way above its weight. And what I think really makes Portland's food scene special is that there are 2 aspects of its food scene that I really think set it apart from any other city in the world. And the first is breadth. You can find anything from like Venezuelan, Colombian, Haitian, Vietnamese, all the way to like the other end of the spectrum of like fish and chips, corn dogs, and fried chicken. The other thing is depth. At one point in the last 5 years, Portland had somewhere between 20 and 25% of the nation's gluten-free breweries, which Portland has like a thriving craft beer scene. So it's not that surprising. But when you think about the population of Portland, which is like 0.2% of the US population, again, Portland's punching way above its weight. Not only that, there's too many gluten-free bakeries to even like touch on them all in this conversation, which is a great problem to have. And there are 3 places where you can get gluten-free fish and chips or gluten-free fried chicken, which is something that is not true of basically any other city in the world.
Yeah, I should have just given you a minute, but I'm just joking. But let's start with some places you recommend to people who are not gluten-free, but maybe have gluten-free friends or partners that they want to take out to dinner, and they all, like you said, don't want to think about it.
So just so everyone's clear, every single place I'm going to mention here is dedicated gluten-free. No gluten in the kitchen. On the casual end of the spectrum, Portland Fish Market is down on Woodstock. It's a little window with some outdoor seating. great gluten-free fish and chips.
Oh.
In particular, the fries. I never thought I'd be like, wow, these fries are like a 10 out of 10, but their fries are amazing. Next is Faya, which is a Thai place on Hawthorne. The special thing about Faya is their gluten-free Thai noodle dishes, so like pad see ew and pad ki mao. Those things are kind of hard to find gluten-free because the sauces they use often contain gluten. And so at Faya, you can order all of those different noodle dishes and not have to worry about it.
Phaya.
Yep.
For those who
You
are
got
just
it.
like, fire? Where?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Next, more of like a date night mid-range restaurant is Zilla Sake. That's Zilla, up on Alberta in Northeast. And sushi is another one of those foods that's kind of a landmine of gluten with like tempura and soy sauce, both of which contain gluten. Nothing at Zilla contains gluten, so you can go. They have like a very nice, intimate vibe and a great sake list. So that's a great place to go on like date night or like a more casual dinner.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least is Khan, which you all have talked about many times on this show. Everything at Khan is gluten-free and dairy-free, so it's great for like a wide range of dietary restrictions. That's the place we like to go to celebrate a special occasion or like share a type of food with people that normally you're not eating Haitian food in your everyday life.
Yeah. Have you been to Mosaic Tap House?
I have not.
They have gluten-free chicken wings, and they have a lot of gluten-free options. Because I'm not celiac, I don't know the parameters of like, this is a gluten-free kitchen or not. But they have amazing fried chicken wings. They basically just use like rice flour. And they're so much better. They're so crispy, and I love them.
I've been saying for years that we don't need gluten-containing flour for fried foods. Like, there's no difference between gluten flour and gluten-free flour when you're frying it.
Except I personally think that the gluten-free flour, like if it's rice-based, tastes better. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But that's just a bias there. But yeah, you should check it out. I mean, it's all the way in St. John's, so it is a drive for a lot of people, but like it's a pretty cool place. And it's very low-key. Like it's not at all like we're gluten-free. It's just eat the food. It's good, you know? But it's street-style Vietnamese.
Nice.
I mean, that to me is a very casual spot. That's like where people go just every day. Do you have any other more casual spots that you're just like, yeah, like, you know, you could go get a beer and here's some food?
Yeah, I think food trucks are a really unique part of Portland's food culture. And there's a bunch of gluten-free food trucks around Portland that are totally gluten-free. Two that I really like are Desi PDX up in Northeast. They're in the Prost Pod, but they're moving to Division in Southeast pretty soon here. It's like Indian flavors meets kind of local seasonal ingredients. Their cardamom chai chicken is amazing. And the other thing I really look forward to when I eat there is their pickled vegetables. And the second place, also in Northeast, is off of North Interstate at Arbor Beer Lodge. It's called Honey Butter Country Fare. And their whole thing is gluten-free fair food. And that means like corn dogs and funnel cakes, which are two food groups that you just like don't find gluten-free basically ever.
Do you eat burgers?
Yeah, I love burgers.
Where do you go for like a good burger that has good buns?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually can't think of a place in Portland where you can get like a burger that's prepared in a way that I would like go out and eat.
Yeah.
There's a food cart called Selwood Fish and Chips. They do like fish burgers or like it's like a fish taco but with a burger bun basically.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a good place for like burgers.
I was just curious because I know that a lot of places, the way they extend their menu to people with dietary restrictions is they're like, you can swap out the bun for like
Right.
$1 or $2 extra. And I haven't seen that as often. So I wonder what's going on with that. So I was curious just because, full disclosure, many years ago, I was randomly just breaking out into hives. Like my lips swelled up for no reason. Like I was just clearly experiencing a lot of like random inflammation. And so my doctor at the time, who was a Western doctor, by the way, was just like, this is going to sound crazy, but can you just not eat gluten for like 6 months and see what happens? And all of my symptoms went away.
Yeah, I mean
So,
that's a common story. Like
Yeah, but I didn't have celiacs. Like they did the whole test or whatever, nothing. But I still eat gluten. I just know my partner and I know they're just like, they will monitor me and they're just like, you just had beer and a pizza. You need to stop. You're going to be in bed all day tomorrow. Because it feels like you're getting the flu, but it never comes. Like that's the feeling that I don't know how other people, but that's the feeling that I get. I'm just like, I feel like I'm about to get sick. And then it just you never get sick. You just feel like shit.
Yeah, that is oddly similar to having celiac disease. It's like you accidentally eat gluten and it's like it affects your entire body because it's autoimmune.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Yeah.
Because of that, that's the one thing that I would always look out for. It's because I love burgers, but I'm like, where is there a good bun? But it's too bad.
The bun option is way better than the lettuce wrap option,
Yeah.
which is oftentimes what you get.
Well, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, the best gluten-free pastries in Portland and much more. The South by Southwest Innovation Conference takes over Austin, Texas from March 12th through the 18th. And for that one electric week, the city becomes a playground for boundary-pushing ideas, world-class networking, and emerging technology. So it makes sense electric auto pioneer Rivian is this year's headlining sponsor. This is your chance to gain real access to new ideas, people, and opportunities that don't happen anywhere else, which also includes access to the best breakfast tacos and barbecue this world has to offer. And I know they're not an official part of the festival, but it's definitely a perk. Expect the unexpected at South by Southwest. It's an experience built on connection and the thrill of seeing the future first, as well as drinking margaritas before noon without judgment. Trust me, nobody cares. And you can get a 10% discount on your innovation badge when you use our code CityCast10 at southbysouthwest.com/Portland. That's SXSW.com/Portland. Terms do apply. Start planning your adventure today. Okay, verdict's out on buns, but how about your favorite spots for gluten-free bread and pastries? Like, which spots are nailing it? And I'm curious, like, you've had non-gluten-free stuff, right? Like, you had it and then you had to stop eating it. What I'm saying is you've had a real cinnamon roll.
Correct.
By real, I mean like wheat-based, traditionally made.
Right, yes. I was diagnosed like 12 years ago now, so it's been a while, so I don't really remember what a real croissant tastes like, if we're being completely honest. But I think, like I mentioned before, Portland has like 5 or 6 really good gluten-free bakeries. And I'm not going to talk about them all. I picked 3.
Okay.
The first one I want to highlight is really good at bread. So like sandwich bread, bagels, like real boiled bagels, challah, and their pizza crust is great. And it's called New Cascadia Traditional, and it's down on Southeast Division Street at 25th. And I've been around the world eating gluten-free food. Like, that's what I do for work. And I have never had gluten-free bread that is better than New Cascadia's.
Wow.
So, and their pizza is amazing. They have like a nice pizza oven in the back. So that's another thing. That,
They have like actual pizza. I actually found out I really like gluten-free pizza.
Yeah, their pizza crust is really good. It's not like the ceramic oven, but they have a nice pizza oven in the back that they make their gluten-free pizzas in.
Nice. See other spots.
Yeah, so second, if you're looking for like sweet treats, Petunia's Pies and Pastries down in downtown is where I would send people. They have everything from like cake slices to coffee cake to muffins. But the real standout, before we moved to Portland years ago, we came to Portland 10 times as visitors, basically just to eat all the gluten-free food. And donuts at Petunia's Pies and Pastries, which happened on Saturday and Sunday, were like a staple on our itineraries. It was like Powell's Books, Washington Park, donuts. So their donuts are really good.
Oh, that's good. It's fresh donuts, like fresh from the fryer.
Well, they're not like coming straight out of the fryer to your plate, but they're fried, which is, I think, unique. Sometimes you get the cake donuts, which are not nearly as fun.
Yeah. I know about Petunia's because they really have a market on grocery store offerings. Like if you go to New Seasons or whatever, all the GF stuff is usually Petunia's. So I think I've had Petunia's, and I probably had no idea it was gluten-free. Another spot that you wanted to chat about was Burloo. Now, this is a place I've heard so much about, but I don't think I've ever been. Tell me about that bakery. Wait, is that entire bakery gluten-free?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
and
really?
I believe all the baked goods are also dairy-free. I love Burloo. That's the place, out of all the places I'm talking about today, that's the place that we go the most often, my partner and I. Vince has worked in the most high-end kitchens in the world. He won a James Beard Award a few years ago, and he has created this. It's like part bakery, part cafe down on Belmont in the Central East Side. And it's the kind of place that only Vince could have created because it like brings together his Vietnamese heritage with these like modern techniques that he's picked up over his career. But the best thing they make, I think, for like a cold, drizzly winter Portland day is their noodle soups, which are so warming and the broth is like so flavorful. So that's what we go with there for in the winter.
Nice. I'm looking at the pictures and I want to eat there so bad. I think I'm going to have to make a special trip this weekend to try them out because I've heard about them for so long because they're in Southeast and I live in St. John's. It's just never come up, you know?
And I love that kind of place. Like fun flavor profiles, and it's like very fine dining.
Yeah, I want to go there. Okay, so we've talked about like restaurants, you know, nice meals. We've talked about some casual spots, some places to get baked goods. What about like beer? What about just like straight up snacks? You know, like I love beer and I can't have that much of it because of what I told you. And so I'm like, I'm not reliving that. It's really annoying. So where would you say you should go there and you can actually maybe have some pizza and a beer?
Yeah. So I alluded to this before, but Portland is great for gluten-free beer because it has somewhere between 20 and 25% of the nation's gluten-free breweries. One of the originals is Groundbreaker Brewing, which is, again, in Southeast. Sorry, Claudia.
What is up with South? I swear to God, like everything's in Southeast when it comes to dietary restrictions. Like North Portland barely has anything. Do you think we just have a hardier immune system up here? Like, what is it? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
It's
clearly
great, though,
not. I
because
live here.
the scale is it's so different than any other city because like in London, it's a great gluten-free city, but you get on the tube and it's like 45 minutes between places. Like all of the places in Southeast are like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even on foot. Anyway, so Groundbreaker Brewing is one of the original gluten-free breweries in the country, and they're down in Southeast. They're great. They have a pupuseria operating out of their kitchen, which is also completely gluten-free. So you can get pupusas
Oh,
and
I
like
love
fried.
pupusas.
Yeah,
Oh.
me too. Love it. Fried chicken strips, other stuff, but the pupusas are the highlight of the food there. It's called Salvi PDX.
Salvi PDX. Okay. So when I was preparing for this, Julia Fiaioni, our producer who spoke to you and sort of figured out what we were going to talk about, she brought up gluten-free ice cream and I like lectured her for like a full 2 minutes and I was like, ice cream is gluten-free. What the hell are you talking about? And she's like, no, it's just different because there's like, so you want to tell me about gluten-free ice cream? And I've been there. I think I know what you're talking about. Go ahead and explain what gluten-free ice cream is because I think a lot of us are probably just like, but it's ice cream. It's gluten-free. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so there's two things to think about with ice cream. One is the ingredients in the ice cream itself, like cookies and cream, not gluten-free. The other thing is like scooping from a container, touching a cone, and then scooping back from the container.
Gotcha.
So a lot of places like 50 Licks will scoop from a like fresh container for you if you tell them you have celiac disease, but that's like a pain to do on a busy summer day. So we like to go to Kate's, which is both gluten-free and plant-based. Although I think if you blindfolded me and like made me taste it, I would never be able to tell you it was plant-based. They have a couple of locations now, one on Mississippi and Northeast, one on Northwest 23rd, and their ice cream is great. And everything is gluten-free, including the waffle cones, which is, again, a unique thing that like you just don't get to eat that often if you have dietary restrictions.
Right. Yeah. I've eaten at Kate's because it's dairy free and it's something that ice cream is the one thing I can't really mess with because there's a lot of stuff that I can still eat. I just can't eat a lot of, but ice cream is the one that just like ruins me immediately. So I didn't know they were gluten free, but that's cool. Is there any other place that you're like, oh, this is a good snack we haven't talked about?
Two other places I wanted to highlight
Okay.
that are kind of outside of Portland, but they're actually bakeries. One of them is actually a brewery. It's called Beerly Brewing in McMinnville, which I've heard you love McMinnville.
I love McMinnville. Oh my God, I'm so going to Beerly Brewing. Wait, so their entire menu is gluten free?
Yeah, so it's a gluten-free brewery that then opened up their own tap room and they have a food menu. The best thing they make is not their beer, although I like their beer. The best thing they make is their donuts, which they do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And those do come straight out of the fryer.
Oh, we gotta go. I'm just like, we're going. This is amazing.
We have driven there for the donuts before.
That's so funny. Oh, this is so cool. Okay.
The other place is called Blue Moon Bakery, which is in Hillsborough. And it's a great bakery that does donuts, eclairs, different stuff like that.
All gluten free.
All gluten-free. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, I know you're a big booster for the Portland gluten-free food scene, but I'm curious, like, is there anything missing? Like, if I gave you a little restaurant wand and you could start something, didn't have to run it, it just existed for you, what kind of restaurant would it be?
Yeah. So you and all of my friends have been talking about like the Italian food scene in Portland and how it's gotten really, really good over the past year or two. There's no gluten-free Italian. Like, there's no place that I can think of to go get gluten-free pasta. That's like dedicated gluten-free, separate equipment, all that stuff. I would love a dedicated gluten-free Italian restaurant. That's the top of my list.
So I have a a best friend with celiacs, and I made her gluten-free matriciana, and she said it was the best gluten-free pasta she's ever had. So I know the recipe, and I just like Googled the crap out of it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, well, this recipe looks good in this recipe. So I know the recipes are out there, and you can make have you made it homemade gluten-free pasta?
Oh yeah, yeah. We made gluten-free ravioli for Christmas last year.
Yeah, so
That
you
was
know
like
it's
our
there.
Christmas dinner. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
we can
there.
do it.
We could do it. Come on,
Yeah.
Portland. I love that. I'm like, can't. I'm not gonna open up a restaurant. Come on, Portland. We can do it. That would be great because when it comes down to it, yes, it's the pasta, of course, but it's also the sauces. To me,
Yeah,
a
totally.
sauce can really ruin a dish. Well, you know what? We do consider our show a wishing machine. And so we have wished together a gluten-free Italian restaurant. Imagine gluten-free garlic bread. That would be so good. That would be awesome.
We can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You could. I mean, you'd have an audience, customers, for sure. We just found a niche, a missing market in our restaurant scene that's already just, I think, and it's ironic that it would be Italian food because right now we're just like, we're good, thank you.
Yeah, right. Everyone's like, there's so many. Do we need another Italian restaurant? I'm like, yeah, yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. It's gluten-free though.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, this was lovely. Thank you so much for hanging out. This was basically, we've gotten a lot of listeners who listen to our shows about food and either they're vegan or they're gluten-free and they're just like, hey, it would be so cool if you talked about places I could eat, And so you're really helping us out here and like expanding our coverage. And this came about because you wrote in and you're just like, it would be so cool if you mentioned some gluten-free places. Here's a list. And then we're just like, great, you're part of the show now because you're coming on. So that's a warning to anyone else who writes in with a comprehensive list of places for us to cover, as we will just ask you to come on the show and talk about them. Well, thanks again, Matt. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
And now for some events happening this week. Every Thursday on the show, we like to bring you a few recommendations to help you plan your weekend. And here's what we got. This week, I wanted to focus on events that have been ongoing that you might have just forgotten about and could probably use your support. This Friday, our award-winning Rose City Rollers have a bout. It's the Breakneck Betties versus Heartless Heathers, as always, at the Oaks Amusement Park hangar. It starts at 7 p.m., and if you haven't been to a women's roller derby game at least once in Portland, you're missing out. And this Friday also starts the weekend run of Darcel 15's weekend drag shows at the Darcel 15 Showplace. Again, can you call yourself a Portlander if you haven't been to at least one of Darcel's drag shows? On Saturday, we have both the Hollywood and the PSU farmers markets happening. That's two long-standing year-round farmers markets you should check out if you haven't done so already. Also on Saturday is the Lunar New Year Dragon Boat Paddle at River Place Marina. You can go celebrate the Lunar New Year on the Willamette with a festive dragon boat paddle, rain or shine, beginner or experienced. Seats are provided in dragon boats along with PFDs and an experienced crew. Afterwards, they go gather at the Little River Cafe to warm up with tea and mooncakes to celebrate the Year of the Horse. That's so cute. And on Sunday, it's the last day of the Northwest Black Comedy Festival at Curious Comedy. This festival has been going on for a decade. You gotta go check it out. There are probably shows happening tonight. For even more local news and events, you can sign up for our daily newsletter or check out our website, portland.citycast.fm. We'll throw a link for all of this in the show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, share it with a friend or rate and leave us a good review. It really helps us out. And don't forget, you can support this show and get some great perks by becoming a CityCast neighbor. Just visit membership.citycast.fm for all the details. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you with Slims.